Hi, I'm Dean from SequencerTalk, and you are?
Hey, I'm Mikael, and I'm from one of the co-founders in Freqport.
We met before, and you have some really nice products for production.
Yes, that's true. We're here in Superbooth presenting a bit of it. So, yeah, let's have a look at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Mikael, we see now here the new plugin.
Yes, that's correct. It's FreqTube FT1 emulation, which is our latest release. So we went out and basically we emulated our own FreqTube FT1 unit, but not just emulated in the normal sense. We made a circuit component emulation. It's called a SPICE emulation to emulate the real behavior of the whole circuit, tubes, and the behavior of our box to get the best possible result. So now, if you don't own the hardware...
So this is the FreqTube. This is a unit with tubes inside, is this right?
Yes, so this is a FreqTube FT1, and it's a box with four different tubes. Four tubes inside, two of one kind, higher gain, for more hard saturation, and a pair of more small, soft and smooth. It's more gentle for master bosses, for mastering vocals and stuff like this. So two different mojos in the same box. 4 channels connected via USB-C to the computer. And the plugin that we are looking at is both the controller of this analog box. You see now it says analog here. And analog means real analog. And that means that everything I do in the plugin controls the box here. But then the emulation is when you switch to digital. Now you don't need to have the hardware. So everyone that doesn't have hardware or work in a box, they get a very good emulation through to the circuit and component emulation we did of our hardware, and then can use it as well as on as many channels you want and your computer allow you to. And if you are one of the hardware owners, then this update with the plugin emulation comes for free. That means that now you can bring your sessions with you, traveling to other studios back home, and continue working on what you do without having to bring the hardware. And when you're back in the studio, then it connects to the analog again. You also might be in a session where you used all the tubes. Since it's a 4 analog tubes and it's an analog box, when you use them on multiple channels, you're out of them. That means if you want to use more tubes, you need to record it before you can open again. And for many people, that compromises a workflow. It might take 10-15 minutes to record, and then it's a creative blocker, really. Like it just stops your whole process. And in that case, you can just continue working in digital and be in the workflow, and then when you do your mix downs and mixing in the end, then you can commit to the analog later. So
it's a real good emulation from the tubes, and then if you really need the real stuff, you have it on your hands with the hardware box.
Yes.
To say it in simple terms.
Yeah, and to say it in simple terms, that's exactly how it is, yes. And you see, you change the first plugin we know of in the world that has real analog and emulation in the same exact plugin. We here at Superbooth now is actually also showcasing our latest update. It's Analog Harmony, which is a technology that runs in the background. This now allows you, so here you can see units, it allows you to actually have 4 FreqTube units actively in the same time.
So you can cascade them?
You can cascade them, and you can actually get 16 channels of tubes or our other product, FreqInOut, in the same time. Our technology and our software, and there's few fundamental things to understand, which is a red line through all our products. This can be set up with a USB-C or USB. You don't need to set up an aggregate device. So you can expand your setup, leaving your existing sound card or setup, getting more inputs and outputs without setting aggregate devices up or anything. And the whole routing, the whole synchronization, and the round time all of that is automatically calculated with our technology, meaning that everything you do acts like plugins. It has a perfect delay compensation and it's sample accurate. And what does that mean? That means that when you record your stuff, you need to record it through the analog at some point, also with the FreqInOut. Your recording will be sample accurate, so it will be placed exactly where it should be. And this is one of the really fundamental things to understand, because this is actually one of the pain points in many studios, if not almost any studio that have outboard equipment. It's the setup and the synchronization, pre-delay, the round time, and then when you record it, you have that inconsistent, like, little mini thing where you have to move it, and that takes so much time and it kills your creativity. So this is why we did this technology, and all our products, to understand them, you understand that you don't have these problems anymore. So it's tools that is very fast and easy to work with and integrate, so you can stay in your creative flow. Yeah.
So, and that brings us basically to the second version, because you have the same idea for your other hardware devices as effects, and this is the in and out.
Yes.
I had a chance to try out both, and I'm a big fan of the in and out, to be honest. It looks a little bit underwhelming because it's just a black box from the outside, but you can connect your hardware devices, like here. This is an overdrive, or you can
Launchbox.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And this is really, really nice, because you don't have the aligning problems with the DAW.
Yes, so that's exactly FreqInOut, we call it. It looks like a normal 4-channel audio interface, but it's actually not an audio interface. Again, as the technology, we said like this, adding per box 4 more channels. Yeah, so the FreqInOut box looks like a small audio interface with 4 inputs and outputs, but it's actually not meant to be a audio interface. It's for you to get more inputs and outputs in your existing setup. No matter if you use Mac or PC, you don't need to set up aggregate devices, you get more inputs and outputs. And the purpose of this box is that it turns your hardware into plugins inside the computer, and eliminating, again, that routing, the setup, the pre-delay, the round time problems, and the synchronization when you record, and that inconsistent timing you have in your recordings.
So you don't get these phasing issues.
You don't get the phasing issues, and you also don't have to spend the time. And we know from talking to a lot of people zoom in and they take your audio file and they move it back in. It's just not supposed to be like this. You just need to be able to listen to things in synchronization when you record it. It needs to be their next move on, next thing, right? So this is what the box does. So here's on a drum bus, right? Connected a few things from the launch box here to the inputs and outputs. And now I just open the plugin directly in my insert on my send, like any other plugin, but this is a hardware. So now when I work with it, I play like this, for instance. You know, I play around with the things here. It's my hardware, and it synchronizes, and it's so fast and it's sweet to use it. And when I'm done with my settings and I record it, that recording will just be accurate and in place. It doesn't cause the phasing issues. You don't need to move it around. Inside the plugin, as you see here, you see a photo of the unit I'm working on. When you open it, there's a QR code that you can scan, and then with your phone you can take a photo, and that becomes a skin. So since you can work on it with multiple inputs and outputs, and then you can see what you're working on. And another really cool thing here is actually you can also see where you left your knobs, right? Because this is your presets that you can save. So maybe you have the compressor setting that you want to open up in another track. You just open the photo and say, oh, this is where I left the knobs, perfect, and then you're there, right?
So you have directly a digital patch book.
Yeah, it's a digital patch book for recall, right? Straight in your session, straight in where you work, and you save those here, so you can save these ones, and then you can open that in other arrangements. And later on, very soon, we will have an upgrade where you can store that in your cloud account as well. Yeah. So down here, you have the analog matrix. So you can engage the analog matrix, meaning that you can reconfigure the signal flow between what you connect to. So you want to put the EQ before the compressor, or the chorus before the delay, or the chorus after delay. So you can reconfigure your signal flow without having to go in and out and convert multiple times. So that little mini matrix happens analog in the box. Yeah. And then you have a hardware mix. So everything that you do, you can parallel mix, which a lot of old classic equipment doesn't have. And as the last little cool feature, you have mid-side. So it turns all your outboard equipment into mid-side, meaning that left is mid, is your mid signal, your mono, and right is side, it's everything in your stereo. So you can change that stereo thing, you can EQ that without EQing the mono signal, and that's a very smart feature, yeah? So
then I think let's hear something.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
yeah, so let's do some, I'll show you here how I use the FreqTube on a kick. First of all, I can assign the different parameters in the plugin if I have the hardware to the knobs here. With clicking here and assigning it here, one on the filter, I have one on the drive, and you see, so that's very convenient, and you can assign them as you want. So here I have a kick drop of it's an old track with an old kick that sounds a little dull and flat, and I use the saturation here on this one. I push it in the low end to kind of warm it up and fatten it a bit, and then I select it plus 18 dB, so it's a really hard overdrive actually. So let's hear how that sounds. This is a kick before, and when you go all the way, you hear this is the full saturation. I'm pushing in the low end, right? And I can gently kind of mix that together and get that more like a bassy, fatty kick drum. Other way I use it like for a little more hard techno kicks would be again to use a bandpass filter and then really overdrive the mid. Now you really start to hear it's really trashing the kick a lot. You find that sweet spot that works for you on your kick drum. You can use your even and odd harmonics to adjust a bit, and then again the mix here, and you roll it in, and then suddenly now you have like a nice saturated techno kick that really pops out of the mix. Probably say use it on a lot of different things. I use the filters a lot. I use it like a bandpass, like an EQ, even sometimes soft. I overdrive it to get those really hardcore saturated sounds to pop out of the mixes. I use it on my master, and I use it sometimes very gentle to shape the bass, and to use especially on my sub bass to use the harmonics to introduce even harmonics with the tubes, which sounds wonderful when you listen to music in Bluetooth speakers in the car that doesn't really have that deep low ends represented. So I mean, it's a tool you use for drum bosses, vocals, instruments, guitars, like drop, like I mean, I use it for everything. Yeah. So
I tried it myself, and it's pretty nice. To be honest, because you have this analog feel. So it's very difficult to have a real sounding distortion or overdrive in the DAW. There are plenty good of plugins today, but it's not completely the real deal. So I can hear the difference normally, and this makes it really, really nice, especially with the plugin version. So you can, as we said, start with a session somewhere with a friend and then go home in the studio and finish it with the real stuff. So you have the flavor and then you have the real thing. So, and the same work paradigm is with the in and out.
Yeah, so the FreqInOut is of course completely different. This is for, again, to connect your outboard equipment, EQs, compressors, effect machines. A lot of people using a lot of guitar pedals and stuff like this. So it's like synchronized and seamlessly opening it as plugins in the door. And this is really, you open it as fast as opening a plugin here. I open it on my drum box here, boom. And now I have my EQ here on the drum box. It's really, if this would be a plugin or it's hardware, it's seamless as fast to use it like that, you know. The only thing that you can actually do in the plugin is a mix, wet dry mix on the mid side, as I showed you. And when you're setting up when you're setting up, now I'm just going to turn this off. When you're setting up the hardware in the configuration, you need to tell what you add on the different inputs and outputs. And here you have trims and gains, hardware gains. So you can gain stage from the plugin and save those gain stages. And that's really smart because some guitar pedals needs a different impedance. Some older machines needs a different kind of input and output. Some machines doesn't have the input and output gains and trims at all. So it gives you a lot of flexibilities to do it that way. And the cool thing is you also save it, and you can save it to the unit. So all that setup and gain staging, everything you did. If I come with my laptop and my arrangement and want you to mix it, you just put the USB over, and it remembers all the settings and the setup. Yeah. So very convenient and very fast. And we have a lot of people who is like writing us feedbacks and showing us videos on how they use it, and I really love that. And a lot of them saying like, wow, we started using a lot of our outboard gear a lot more again because it's just so fast and convenient. Yeah.
So you have a Discord, as I saw it. So there's a real community where they share their opinions and how they use it. It's really nice to see. So you're really connected with your community.
Yes, we're trying to build that Discord community. We're there all the time. We love people to join it and just like talk about gear and music and how they use our stuff, but also like ideas. And it's like we are musicians ourselves, so we just love to hear what people do, what they love to work with, what equipment they use, and yeah, so that's they're slowly building the community. So I encourage people to come and join us there. Yeah, so
cool. So can you give us a little audio demo directly without any talking?